Congratulations on your engagement. You are probably dreaming of getting married somewhere like this, or maybe this, and you have a lot of questions. If we don't know each other already, my name is Travel Agent Becky from the blog travelagentbecky.com, and I am here to help you get started if you are newly engaged or newly considering a destination wedding. Not only am I a travel agent, but I'm also a destination wedding planning specialist. So I'm able to help answer your questions from everything to do with the actual wedding planning to getting your guests there. Let's go over some of the basics so that you know exactly what we're talking about, assuming you know zero about destination wedding planning. I'm also putting the timestamps in the video, so if you want to jump around to the parts you need answers to, you are absolutely able to do that. So what exactly is a destination wedding? Simply put, it's getting married somewhere outside of your hometown. Destination weddings can happen in your own state. If you're traveling, several hours away, they can happen in the United States. They can happen in places like Mexico and the Caribbean. You can do private villas. You can get married in a castle in Ireland. Destination weddings are all over the world, and you have a lot of options to choose from. The destination weddings that I specialize in happen in Mexico, in Cancun and the Riviera Maya area. I've traveled there several times, have fantastic relationships with the actual resorts and wedding planners there, and that's what most of my videos focus on. Most destination weddings that happen in the Caribbean and Mexico happen at all-inclusive resorts. That tends to be the easiest option for people who have a lot of folks traveling or who just want a package put together and made it as simple as possible. So why are so many folks choosing destination weddings? They seem to be more popular than ever. Here's why. First, the scenery. Photography, videography, they are huge parts of the wedding and the focus of your actual planning. These are the memories that you get to keep with you, and most people want them to be as beautiful as possible. The scenery, no matter where you choose to get married, tends to be one of the number one reasons folks choose that. Whether you're imagining a jungle, a cenote, the beach, there are so many beautiful options in the Cancun and Riviera Maya areas. Amazing. Destination weddings also tend to be more intimate. Smaller guest lists. Even if you have a big guest list, not everybody's going to travel, so your actual guests on the property with you will be smaller. It's much more intimate. You get a longer time with your guests as well, and if you're in a position where your guests are going to have to travel anyway, maybe fly them to Cancun instead of wherever you are. And lastly, the wedding packages that happen at these all-inclusive properties really make it tempting. Not only can you pick and choose the parts that you want from your wedding package, but you also get perks. You might get spa points, you might get money back for bringing guests. There are so many reasons why doing it at an all-inclusive resort makes sense for folks. All right, so if you're intrigued and considering a destination wedding, how do you get started? Where do you go from here? I recommend you plan a destination wedding 15 to 18 months in advance. If you're considering Mexico, specifically Cancun, Riviera Maya, 15 to 18 months in advance will make your life tremendously easier. Of course, we can usually plan within the 1 year mark. It's significantly harder. So if you have the ability to pick a date further out, you will be a happier planner. Step 2, if you are working with a planner, now is the time to pick your planner. Once you've sort of set a rough date, find someone to help you. These all-inclusive resorts are going to have contracts for your room blocks. There's going to be a lot of perks and things you have to manage. And of course, you have to get your guests there, transfer them to the hotel, plan the whole thing, transfer them back, and get them home. It's a lot of work. If you work with a planner who specializes in these things, they will get you through all of the steps. Some planners charge fees for this because they do a lot of extra work, more than just the travel. Some don't. So make sure you are working with a travel planner you trust. Make sure you are confident with the fee you are paying, and make sure you're asking questions of your planner. Step 3, while you're now working with your planner and you've hired a destination wedding specialist, you should now start looking at resorts. Your destination wedding planner will help you pick a location, whether that's Jamaica, Mexico, Ireland, whatever. You should now be looking at options and seeing what the pros and cons would be. You should be looking at your guests' experience. What are they going to get? What are their costs going to look like? As well as your ceremony locations and what that resort or villa will offer you. At the same time, you should be deciding on a budget. You should have a preliminary budget ready to go, but you should be finalizing your budget at the same time you're looking at resorts. So those things can be, working hand in hand to make sure that your budget will get you what you want at your resort. So try to do those things at the same time. While your destination wedding planner is putting your quotes together, start your guest list. You want to make sure that your property, whatever you choose, will be able to accommodate you. Whether you're doing a huge wedding with hundreds of folks or something really micro with 10 folks or less, you want to make sure that your resort, your property of choice, can accommodate the wedding that you're looking for. So make sure you are starting your guest list. You have a good idea of what that looks like. All of this is happening 18 months in advance. And side note, depending on where you're getting married, I often recommend you do a symbolic wedding. So most of the weddings I plan happen in the Cancun Riviera Maya area. Those should be symbolic if you can. You want to legally handle the paperwork here in the States, get married before you even go to the courthouse, sign the papers, be legally married, and then do a symbolic wedding with your whole family there with you. The pressure will be off, you'll be legally married, and you can really treat it like your honeymoon. How do you know if a destination wedding is right for you? We talked a little bit about this at the earlier section of the video, but there's a few questions you should think of when you're wondering this. Do you love the idea of getting married somewhere unique? Most of your friends and family are likely getting married in the same kinds of venues. Do you like the idea of doing something unique and different? Are you okay with a smaller, more intimate guest list? Do you want your wedding to be an experience and not just an event? Obviously, if you answered yes to these, you are a candidate for a destination wedding. I have in the box below a free guide to planning a wedding in Cancun. Also, there's a quiz down there that might help you narrow it down if you're already thinking about Cancun. All of my contact information is linked down below for you. Planning a destination wedding might feel overwhelming at first, I get it, but I encourage you to find a travel planner you like and trust and work with them to get the ball rolling.